Good morning.
Good morning.
Jennilee has just arrived in Ireland. It's 10 a.m. class Friday, and today we're chatting to Jennilee about her yoga life, what brought her to yoga, really how, you know, her travels and what yoga life is like for Jennilee, and what she's going to be doing over the weekend while she's here in Ireland.
Yay! It's my third or fourth time.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Fourth, maybe.
Fourth, I think fourth, yeah. I'm very happy to be back. So good.
Yeah. So do you want to tell us a bit about what brought you to yoga in the first place? Or, you know?
Yeah, I was in the military, and I was in a drill sergeant program. So I was really mean, really tough and mean. And my mother had just passed away like a year before. And I went through this thing where I was on this parade field, and I was actually failing people for not doing the proper push-up. 20 years later, I write a book on the Perfect Chaturanga, which is basically the perfect push-up.
I know it.
And I was, really just failing people for not doing this perfect push-up. And this first sergeant came up to me and said, Corporal, you're doing something right when they're all talking about you. Like, because it was like I was holding them to a standard, but everyone was mad. And it was in that moment where I decided I want to be a kind person. Like right there, I was like, oh my God, I'm so mean. And I wanted to be a kind person. And then right after that, basically, I would write my journals like, I want to be a kind person, kind person, kind person. And I took my first yoga class. And I took my first yoga class. It was in an attic. And I remember being in there, and so I'm like 24, I think, 24, 25. And the lady's reading the poem about the tree, and I'm crying, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm a tree hugger, which I had not been up to that point. I had been a very intensely competitive. I worked at a jail. I was deputy sheriff. I was in the military. So there's a lot going on that was very, very Boston, tough girl, and not very yogic. But after that, I've never turned back. And then I started doing yoga kind of randomly, reading books. And then I went to this one, I remember going to this yoga class in someone's house. Okay, it was like one of my first yoga classes after this one up in the attic. And I remember being in like the whole downstairs of this house was empty. So you'd be in this room by yourself, and the teacher would walk around with a headset, but she would be in a different room sometimes. And then she would like cat cow, and I would be like, I have no idea where cat cow is. So it was very interesting. Weird. Yeah, it was very weird, but very interesting. And then Bikram was my life. Yeah. So once I found my way to Bikram in about 1999, 2000. It was 6 days a week for 2 years of Bikram yoga. Yeah, I fell like madly in love with Bikram yoga. And then after that, Baron Baptiste Power Yoga. And I've been on the Vinyasa trip ever since. But Bikram is still my love for Bikram yoga, the Hot 26 series. And if I go to class, that's the class I would go to. Because it's 90 minutes of just the same postures every time you go. So it's just 90 minutes of meditation.
Yeah. So you know what you're getting.
You know what you're getting, yes. Yeah. But I do like to rock a good vinyasa, and recently I got trained in booty yoga, which booty yoga is a fun system, very fresh, very new, that does a lot of cardio, plyometrics, tribal dance, and vinyasa flow with really pumping music. So I've been enjoying the booty yoga.
Sounds good. You're going to come back and do that.
Yes, next year. The world needs more booty yoga.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Great.
But tonight we're doing Studio 54.
Oh yes, tell us about that.
Studio 54 is a rockin' good time. It's 54 sun salutations to disco, but we do a good long warm up. And then I break up the sun salutations. So it's not the 54 of the same sun salutations. We break it up. And I do the counting. So if you're doing them at the same pace as me, you're doing 54. If you're faster, you could be doing more than 54. If you're slower, you could always just do like 30, sun salutations. And then we do a long cool down. So it's very nicely contained. Awesome fun. The music's spectacular. We're going to have some extra effects. Lighting, some disco lighting. Because Studio 54 was in New York City, and it was a fabulous nightclub, late 70s to early 80s. And it was, if you were to be seen, you'd be at Studio 54.
So if you want to be seen in Ireland,
yes, come to Studio 54 tonight.
For those who are booked in, there's loads of people jumping on and saying hi. Lisa's coming this evening as well, so we're going to see Lisa.
Yes.
For those of you who haven't booked in, there might be a couple of spaces left for tonight, but you need to go online and see, or send an email, and we can check it for you, because I think it's there. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if there's even any space left there, but there might be one space left. So jump on and see. One space, I know. Yeah,
jump on it. Going once, going twice.
I can't promise, because if I say it live here, I'll be held to it. So I'm not sure. So we got to check. Tell us about tomorrow.
And then tomorrow, so there's a couple of different subject matters that I'm in love with, as you well know.
Yes.
One is the Perfect Chaturanga, which I traveled with for a long time, which is shoulder girdle. You know what I'm saying? So it's like really diving for years, traveling around, telling people like about this part of the body. And so all the Perfect Chaturanga book, the Perfect Chaturanga workshops that for years I was traveling with, it was all about the shoulder girdle. This last year or two, I've been really interested in the spine.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, getting older, and then working with my friends that are getting older, and the aging spine. So it's really, tomorrow's first workshop is about the you know, health and longevity of the spine. Working on, we're going to dive into the anatomy of the spine, and then come up with some of the really the degenerative diseases that there are out there, and then in your yoga practice, how you can safely navigate. You know, so it's all about navigating on the mat. You know, everybody is different. What's one person can do on the mat, and when whatever the teacher's leading, it's about like informing them how they can actually navigate. The spine is such a interesting, awesome. It's the axis. It's the main frame. I love the axial skeleton. So we're going to really dive into the spine, what a healthy spine can do. And then when you're starting to, like, osteopenia, osteoporosis, you're starting to go towards that, any disc issues, any injuries, traumatic or repetitive motion, stuff like that. But also how to safely navigate no matter if you're got a healthy spine or not, like how we can actually do modifications and variations.
Brilliant. Yes. And then actually, if you want to read more, Jennilee has a blog that she wrote. It's on our website. So if you go to durga.ie and you click on the blogs, you'll see there's a blog all on the spine by Jennilee.
And we're also going to do a little bit with because when you think of the core, I love thinking of the core as the apple core theory. So when you think about the spine as your core, but also strengthening the stability of our deep core, because that's going to help the pelvis connection to the spine. So it's so funny. So I did the shoulder girdle years, then the spine, but then recently I've been doing work with the pelvis, but the female pelvis, right? But also, you know, like what the importance of like where the ilium bones come into the sacrum, and how we can support that with our connective tissue as well. So we are working with spine tomorrow, but we will be working with like deep core muscles as well, and support, stability, mobility, flexibility, suppleness, all of that.
It's going to be good. If you haven't booked into tomorrow morning, it's booked out. There's no spaces. There's a waiting list. So if you want to get into tomorrow morning, you need to contact us to go on the waiting list, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's booked. And then the afternoon's going to be yummy.
Yes. And then so we're going to do a lot of work tonight. Studio 54 is like hard physically. Then we'll have our wonderful spine lecture, anatomy lecture, movement, but still a little intellectual and some core work. I love core work. And then tomorrow night is basically toning your truth. Nada yoga is the yoga of sound and vibration for healing and transformation. So talking a little bit about the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, and how Nada yoga vibration with your own voice or an external source, you know, like whether it be like a didgeridoo or like a singing bowl or something from externally. We have this amazing instrument that's always with us, our breath and our voice. So working with sound, vibration, toning for harmonizing. So we're going to do some pranayama work tomorrow, and some sound work, and really for tuning up wherever we might be out of tune. You know, so it's a lot. It's very yummy, because then we're going to do a practice, you know, and incorporating sound into the actual gentle flow.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good time.
Wow, that's going to be nice.
And that's how we're going to end our time together before I fly out early Sunday morning.
She does not stay for long. No. So, and if you want to come to that, you can book that online. There's definitely a couple of spots left in the afternoon, Saturday afternoon. So,
because also in that one, we'll be working with the vagus nerve. Okay, so I have a good information about the vagus nerve and fascia as well. So that's a very yummy one. That's a good one, and there's still space for that one.
Yeah.
But come to that one, because you'll be vibrating. You'll feel very happy.
Yes, and that's exactly how you want to go into the weekend.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
Yes. And then Sunday will be like such a blissful day after Saturday night.
Yes.
After all 3 workshops. London to teach about fascia. So I'll be teaching fascia on Sunday in London, and then Henley on the 10th. I'll be doing deep core. I love that. Yeah. 3 approaches to the deep core.
Brilliant. Yeah. So anybody who wants to come and join, let us know. Probably Saturday afternoon is your best shot. I know that we have lots of people from London, so if they want to join, how did they go about getting into your classes in London?
And Sunday, stretch yoga. So stretch is in London, and then Henley yoga is the one on Monday nights.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and I know
Google those.
Yeah. So Stretch London on Ada Street, ADA, and that's at 1:30 on Sunday. And then I think it's a 6 or 7 p.m. on Monday night in Henley.
Cool.
Yeah. And then off to Spain to teach anatomy for frog lotus yoga.
Yeah, because that's generally your main thing, right?
My gig.
Yeah. Her passion is the anatomy and how you can have like a safe practice.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. For longevity, you know, on and off the mat. You know, because you've heard this too. It's like when you hear people tell you like, I can't do vinyasa flow anymore. I hurt my wrist. I hurt my shoulder, my back. You know, people have all these injuries from doing flow yoga. And you and I have known each other for quite some time. And we're all about safe, intelligent vinyasa flow. Have a good time. I'm all about having a good time on that. I love rocking music. I like arm balances, handstands, all kinds of great stuff. But there's always a safe way. There's always an intelligent way to build up towards doing some of that higher center of gravity rock star stuff that some of us do, you know, or going deeper, like leg behind the head or something. So there's always a safe, intelligent way. And we come from a system that's very safe and intelligent, frog lotus yoga. And that's just inspired both of us. That's how we met as anatomy teachers, just to take the anatomy, share our passion for the anatomy, because the body wants to move a certain way. Okay, it's like, this is how the body moves. Then you add fascia, habitual patterns on top of that. Now you have to look at a body in motion, okay? And a body at rest, but in motion, that now is not just a skeleton of fulcrums and levers, but now you add the fascia and the habits. Now, how do you help that person? How do you get that person to get to a certain place safely?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And that's our passion. With fun. A lot of fun. Yeah. I love having fun.
Yes.
Yeah. I love the sacred, you know, ness of the beginning of a class, the end of a class, but in the middle of the class, I like to have a lot of fun, which is what tonight is, you know what I'm saying? Because we start so yummy and groovy, warming up the body, but then it's 54 sun salutations. And it builds up, right? From lower center of gravity to higher center of gravity until we're doing mandalas.
Oh yeah.
All the way around.
All the way around. Yeah.
But then we'll come down and really have a good, you know, long cool down to have a great shavasana. Great rest. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So that is our weekend.
Yes.
That's what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people who have taken the teacher training who are going to be with us this weekend. So it'll be like a reunion of all the teachers that trained together before. And then Sunday, well, for you, Sunday flying, for me, in with the teacher trainers, because they start teaching each other. Yeah.
Very
so they
good.
put it all into practice. And for the next week, I am going to be busy with teacher training until Friday. They graduate. Our current group graduate on Friday. And I will be live at 10 a.m. on Friday, but I'll be at the studio. Yeah, because it'll be in between their morning practice and graduation ceremony. So I will be back next Friday live. Jennilee will not be with me next Friday.
No.
If there's any questions that you have, pop them in the comments. Anything you want to ask Jennilee or myself, or anything you want me to talk about next week, just shout. And hopefully we'll see you at the weekend. We'll see you tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing you.
Yay!
I love coming to Ireland. You know, I'm from Boston. I'm Irish Italian. You know, but the Irish is here this weekend.
And if you don't make it this weekend, Jennilee will definitely be back.
Yes.
She's been here the last every year for the last 2 years.
And it'll be like the same time because I'm already slotted for Frog Lotus.
That's right.
Next
usually
summer.
Around July, sometime during the summer.
Yeah.
So
usually I'm the one to bring the sunshine, but this time around I brought the rain.
I know, I can't believe it. Who would have thought that after a month of sun and no rain, that it rains when you land?
I brought the rain.
Yeah. So anyway, the sun's coming back. I believe by tomorrow it's nice again. Yes. So we shall see you over the weekend. And if you don't see Jennilee this weekend, then next time be on the ball.
Be on the ball.
Someone's
at home saying, I wasn't on the ball.
I know. Well, maybe you're on holiday. You know, that's okay. But don't plan holidays for next July.
Because I'm here.
But thank you so much for watching.
Yes.
And
bye now.
We will see you soon.
Yes. Bye.